RRSP and TFSA. You spent decades contributing to your RRSP and TFSA, the growth of your investments and planning for the secure retirement. But here's something most Canadians never think about. What actually happens to those accounts when you die? Do they just pass to your family tax-free? Do they go through probate? Does the government take a big cut? The answer is, it depends. And if your accounts aren't set up properly, the money you spend, your life saving, could end up in the wrong hands, be delayed for months in probate, or even trigger a six-figure tax bill. Here's the reality. Our RRSPs and TFSAs are taxed and transferred very differently when you pass away. And the rules around who you name as the beneficiary, how your accounts are structured, and whether you've created a proper estate plan can completely change the outcome. Most people assume their assets are protected until it's too late. Whether you're in your 40s and just starting to think about exit planning, or in your 70s getting serious about your estate, this essential information every Canadian investor needs to hear. So let's go for it. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Charles Lucalzi, Associate Investment Advisor at IA Private Wealth, Zenith Private Wealth Council. I help Canadians plan for tax-efficient retirement, protect their estates, and grow wealth that lasts for generations. Today's video is one that every Canadian investor needs to understand, because no matter how much you've saved, what happens after you've gone depends on what you do now. Let's get into it. What happens to your RRSP when you die? Let's start with the RRSP, your Registered Retirement Savings Plan. The RRSP is a powerful tool for growing your retirement savings in a tax-deferred way. But the government only defers taxes, they still want their share. And if you pass away, the rules change quickly. Here's how it works. If you name your spouse as the beneficiary, the RRSP can roll over tax-deferred to their RRSP or RIF. No taxes are due immediately, and the government keeps waiting. If you name anyone else, like an adult child, the entire value of the RRSP becomes fully taxable income in the year of your death. That means if you have $400,000 in your RRSP, your estate could face a tax bill of over $150,000, depending on the province and other income in that final year. This is why beneficiary planning is critical. Another option, you can name your estate as the beneficiary, but this often creates probate fees and delays, unless that's part of your coordinated estate. Also, any income earned after the date of death is taxed in the estate, not the RRSP. These are subtle but important details that affect the final tax bill. Part 2. What happens to your TFSA when you die? The TFSA, tax-free savings account, works differently. Because the TFSA is funded with after-tax dollars, it doesn't get taxed upon death in the same way an RRSP does. That doesn't mean you can ignore the setup. You have two options when naming someone on your TFSA. A beneficiary. As the beneficiary, your spouse can transfer the TFSA funds to their own TFSA without using their contribution room, subject to certain conditions. The transfer must be completed by December 31st of the year following your death. They must file a CRA form RC-240 within 30 days of the contribution. The amount transferred cannot exceed the fair market value of your TFSA at the date of death. A successor holder, spouse only. If named as a successor holder, your spouse becomes the new owner of your TFSA, maintaining its tax-exempt status without affecting their own contribution. The second option is clearly more powerful, but only available for spouses or common law partners. If you name your spouse as beneficiary, they'll still receive the money tax-free, but any growth after your date of death is taxable. And just like with an RRSP, if you name your estate as the beneficiary of your TFSA, the funds will go through probate and could face delays. Part 3. Common mistakes that cost families thousands. Here are some of the biggest mistakes I see Canadians make. No named beneficiary. This means the assets flow to your estate, triggering probate and possibly higher taxes. Naming a spouse as beneficiary instead of successor holder for TFSAs, this small wording difference can cost you years of tax-free growth. Not planning for taxes in your final year. RRSPs are taxed as income in the year of death unless they're rolled over. That final tax return is often the most expensive tax return of your life. Ignoring joint planning, estate planning should involve both spouses, especially when it comes to minimizing combined tax exposure over time. Forgetting to update beneficiary designations. Life changes, marriages, divorce, children, deaths. Your beneficiary designations should too. Part 4. Strategies to reduce the tax burden. So, what can you do? Designate your spouse as successor holder, TFSA, and beneficiary for RRSPs. This allows for seamless, tax-deferred, or tax-free transfers. Use RRSP withdrawals strategically before death. In some cases, drawing down your RRSP early, especially if you're in a lower tax bracket, can reduce your final tax hit. Consider converting RRSPs to RRIFs early. This can offer more withdrawal flexibility and reduce the tax spike in your estate. Fund permanent life insurance through your corporation or personally. This can provide tax-free liquidity to cover final taxes and protect your estate value. Incorporate estate freezes or trusts if your estate is large or complex. These tools can help minimize taxes and ensure assets pass efficient. Have a written, up-to-date will and make sure it aligns with your financial and account-specific designations. Part 5. Final thoughts. The bottom line, your RRSP and TFSA are powerful tools, but they don't plan themselves. Without a proper estate plan, the government could become your largest beneficiary. The good news is, with the right structure and guidance, you can ensure your retirement savings go where you want, efficiently, tax-effectively, and without surprises for your loved ones. If you're unsure whether your RRSP, TFSA, or overall estate plan is set up correctly, don't leave it to chance. Click the link below to book a time with me or someone on my team. We'll help you clarify your strategy, protect your savings, and make sure everything's aligned with your retirement and estate goals. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe for more expert insights, and leave a comment if you found this helpful or have any questions. I read and reply to everyone. Until the next time, take care